Hi everyone. Mom life. Okay. Hi everyone. Hi, welcome. The last 5 minutes have been stressful. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the New Mom Diaries. I'm just gonna wait for some more people to join, and then we'll be introducing our guests for today. Okay, 1 second. All right, so while we're waiting for people to join, if you're new here, this is live called New Mom Diaries, and on here we just share real life experiences, my experience alongside other moms, new moms, OG moms, people that have been moms for a while. And yeah, so I'm not just moms, we're also going to be bringing on professional psychologists, gynecologists, name it. So just to speak on the areas that concern mom life, so from pregnancy to contraceptives, which I had last week. So this is actually the 6th episode. If you're just joining in for the first time, the last 5 episodes are on my IGTV, so you can catch up on those. So we're just gonna wait for another, say, 1 minute, and then we'll start adding up our guests for today. Let's see, 1 second. Just gonna send a request while we wait. Okay, guys, so we just sent a request out to, hi Banker, sent a request out to our guest of the day, and she will be joining us shortly. So let's just wait for that. While we're waiting, guys, I had a situation. Mom life. I'm currently looking at my baby, waiting for my husband to walk in the door. But yeah, hopefully he does that before I start the show. Okay, I think daddy's here now. We can concentrate. Okay, so we're just gonna wait for our guest of the day to join in. She should be here shortly. I hope everyone had a good day so far. Let me see. All right. Hi, Abigail. Okay, we're just gonna send the request one more time. I really don't know what's going on, but just send that again. Okay. So like I was saying, every time that we have a topic, we actually put this on, or I put this on my IGTV, so you can always catch up on that. We have had several topics. We've had different people on. We've had, hi Stacy. We've had different moms, okay. We've had Judith. We've had a few people. So we've had different topics, from contraceptives to new life with a newborn. We've had what they don't tell you about pregnancy. And today our topic is life as a mom with 2 kids. So this is going to be interesting, even for me, because I'm learning. I'm still a mom with just 7 months in, and it's not been easy, guys. But yeah, so we're here to learn from Abigail today. I think she's here now. So I'm just going to quickly send that request out again, just in case she did not get the first one. And we'll proceed for the day. Just 1 second, guys. Welcome, guys. I'm so sorry for the delay. I don't know why she's not getting my request. Let me see. I think I'll accept hers. Okay, guys. Instagram is being silly today for some reason, but I don't know why we can't add Abigail.
Hiya.
She's here. Thank God.
1 second. Let me put on that.
Instagram was being a bit funny.
No,
so like last because I sent you a few requests and then you sent. I was taking time for me to even accept it myself. So I don't know what was happening. Okay, let me see.
Someone's trying to call me.
So
I'm busy.
I was just telling them that I was having a mom situation. My husband literally just came in, like I had to start and I had to put things downstairs and turn on the camera.
Oh my God. Like, oh, I'm just waiting for my husband to walk through the door. And she was like, yeah, I'm waiting too.
This is what we're talking about. That's why we're here. Mom life. There's different situations where you just have to hack it, but
no,
we're surviving. We're here to learn from you today because
oh my God,
where you are, where I am, you're like, you're here and I'm here. I know, but you are doing a great job. So that's why I wanted to have you here today to share your experience, not just for me, but for everyone watching. Because really, I'm sure a lot of people who are still like yet to be moms, and those are already moms are still like trying to figure out their life. So you having 2 kids and still looking beautiful and still your marriage is flawed, everything. We just want you to share with us how you're doing it, because trust me, yes, you're learning. You're still, kids are still growing, but the last few years, I'm sure someone will be willing to hear all that. So before we start the topic of today, could you just quickly introduce yourself to our audience of the day?
So yeah, I am Abigail. Hi for everyone who doesn't know me or does not follow me. I'm a mum to 2 very, very, very energetic boys. Oh, yeah. One of them will probably try and break in here at some point. But yeah, like, I mean, I'm just a mom, a wife. I mean, I'm Abigail, and I'm just figuring it all out. Figuring it all out as I go along. Like, honestly, there's no manual. It's just each day is a new day. And I'm just out there trying to keep my kids alive.
I can totally relate to that. Trust me, I'm still, like I said earlier, I'm still very, very a baby in this new mom life. So baby it's gonna be 7 months tomorrow. Aww. So yeah, we're still learning, we're still hacking it, taking one day at a time. So I can totally relate. So, but yeah, so guys, this is the beautiful Abigail, she said, and she's a mom, and she's someone that I personally follow, and I love her content, not just because she's putting it out there, but I learn 1 or 2 from her every other day. Aww. So that was the reason why I wanted to have you here, so that my audience and everyone, whoever gets to watch these live, because I do put this on, if you're just joining yet, I'm going to put this on my IGTV. So if you do miss out or you have to go along the way, because I know people are joining from different parts of the world and some people are at work at the moment. So if you do want to catch up on this later, you can do that, including the previous episode. So let's just get into it before time takes us away from today.
Because you can come on these and you just talk and you talk and you talk and you have a great time.
Exactly. So let's just make sure that we get the important details discussed before, you know. So yeah, before we get into that, I'm just going to ask you some questions that I feel I want to know, and then I feel people want to know too. So if you were to sum up mom life in one word, what would that be for you?
You know what is the reason why I'm laughing, because my friends and I every day we're just like, wow, like this motherhood thing, it's really the ghetto sometimes. Oh yeah. Like honestly, like even today I've had like a long day, and I jumped on the phone to 2 of my friends. I was just like, guys, I was like, honestly, okay, I'm on the mood today. Like you have just really wild days, and sometimes it seems like you're having a crazy day every day for a while, and you feel like you just can't catch a break. But I don't know, I feel like there isn't one word, isn't there? I feel like it can be great and it can be not so great, and we just need to be honest. We really need to just be honest about that. I mean, we love our kids, you know, they do one thing 1 second to drive you up the wall, and then the next minute they do something and you're laughing. You know, it's up and down, isn't it?
I
It's
know.
not it's not bad all the time, and it's not great all the time.
Of
We just
course.
we're just all out here just rolling with it, aren't we?
So we're taking it that it's the ghetto. That's the word.
I mean, it's hard, you know.
Of course.
I feel like sometimes we want to just talk about all the great parts, like, oh, like, look at my kids, like, they're so cute, and oh my gosh, my kid just done this amazing thing. But let's be very honest, some days you might want to just lock yourself in the toilet for a little while and just, you know, and just stay there, and then, you know, you come out, you play a bit, and then they'll probably might do something else, and you just want to run away again. But I don't shy away from saying that, you know, motherhood can be tough, but, you know, thank God, I think that the love that you have for your kids, it
Outweighs everything.
outweighs
Definitely.
everything.
Definitely.
Like right now, I've got some new artwork on my wall. It's blue crayon, and then I
think I saw that a few days ago.
and then I blinked, and then there was like red crayon. And the mad thing about the red crayon, like, I was there, and I don't know how I was there, and the red crayon was added. But you know what? It is what it is.
We
You
move.
just keep going. But
I know. So that's totally fine. I just wanted you to put like I obviously knew you were not going to give me one word, but I wanted you to just give your own opinion on what you feel motherhood is. And I'm really happy you said what you said, because people just, once they just hear, oh, being a mom, all you're thinking about is, oh my God, my life is over. Or how am I going to deal with another human apart from myself? Or you have literally just said everything. It has this, it's the good, bad, and the ugly, basically. So it has its down times, but I think the love outweighs everything, as you said. So that's a beautiful one. So just gonna ask you quickly before we proceed into the mains, how was pregnancy for you, for your first, and was there any difference between the first pregnancy and the second one?
Do you know what? Not so much. So for me, I mean, both my pregnancies were pretty straightforward. Pretty textbook is what I'd like to call it. You know, first trimester, you know, a bit of tiredness, and you feel a bit nauseous, but I mean, my pregnancies were all right. Like, first trimester is pretty much what you read. Second trimester, full of energy. Third trimester, it's like, okay, let's get this baby out now. But yeah, so my pregnancies were fine. You know, I never had, I never really had complex pregnancies. You know, because you hear some stories, like some people.
Oh yeah, I was just about to say that you're the first guest I'm having here that actually said her, and you're actually going to be the first having, apart from my sister who was speaking about contraceptives last week. You're the first who's had 2 kids that has said her first and second pregnancy were actually really good.
Yeah, because I know some people, like, they'll have a great first pregnancy and then the second one, or vice versa. But no, you know, thankfully, yeah, my pregnancies were fine. It just, when I'm giving birth, there's always both times there's been some little surprises. But in terms of the pregnancies themselves, you know, they were, yeah, I'm really thankful to say that I really never had any
that's good.
Any major issues to come, you know, to complain about. I feel like anything that I probably complained about was relatively nothing on the grand scheme of things
compared to what you hear. Exactly.
Yeah, because I know someone. I have a family member. She's got one child.
Yeah,
and she wants to have. She'd love to have another child, but her pregnancy was that bad. She's just like, oh, I just don't know if I can go through that. That she had, you know, sickness all the way through. Everything made her feel like her pregnancy was bad, and like she'd love to have another child, but yeah, it was so bad. She's really just, she's not ready.
I can imagine, because you tend to hear that a lot, and because I have a friend who just gave birth and she was literally sick she was in a hospital. The first 2 months were okay, and I think 3rd month up until 7 or 8 months she was in the hospital.
Yeah,
it wasn't good. Like,
I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful I don't have anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think that's the reason why we're doing this, so that people can know that is people have it's I always tell them, that's what I always say in this, that pregnancy is not the same for everyone.
No.
The fact that one person had it like this doesn't mean you will have it like that.
And it's not, as you said, it's not even necessarily the same for you as an individual. It could be totally different each time round.
Exactly.
Just don't know what's gonna
exactly. That's the thing. That's why I actually did ask you the question, because I felt I'm used to hearing, oh, the first one was different, the second one was different. So it's a good thing for you that both were beautiful. So that's a good thing. No, but if you were gonna say in terms of delivery, how was that?
So so with Eden, my firstborn, I was 2 days past my due date when I went into labor. I mean, everything seemed fine, you know, the usual stuff. You feel something happening, you call the doctors, they tell you to wait for a while. So when my contractions really started kicking in, we went to the hospital. And yeah, you know, just in the hospital, going through the motions. And I if I remember correctly, I was dilating, but it seemed like the pain was way, like, you know, way past what it should be. So they broke my waters, and they realized that the baby had pooed. So they were like, oh, okay, that's not great. And his heart rate was like up and down. So it was just decided that, look, we need to get this baby out. And I went into I always had a very, very open mind with my pregnancy. Even though I had dreams of a water birth and all of these stuff, I always had an open mind, because anything can happen. So I was not about to set myself up and be distraught if it didn't go how I planned it to. Exactly. It can happen. So with him, I had to have an emergency C-section, but you know, he was fine. Now, when I had my first C-section, my recovery was a lot better. And again, maybe it's just because it's the first time. And you know, I was up. I was like up. When I came back home, I think I was in hospital for like 2 nights. I came home, I went to McDonald's. Like, I just needed to get out. I was up, you know, I was being careful, but I was up and about. Now, my second one, on the other hand, so I went into labor with Evan at 36 weeks. It was just a normal Sunday, you know, it was a normal Sunday after church. Came home, we were having dinner, and I was like, I'm really cold. And this particular day was boiling. It was a very, very hot day. And I was sitting there, I was just like, I'm suddenly really cold, like really, really cold. I was shivering, but I knew something was not right, because Eden was running around in a nappy. It was that hot. David was sitting there in a pair of shorts, and I was there like, I'm cold. So we were just like, okay, something's not right here. So I ran a bath. I got into the bath, and I was like, oh, okay, I think I'm having contractions. So again, usual like kind of like procedure, just kept an eye on things, see how I was feeling. I wasn't feeling cold, but I was definitely having contractions. So as the night progressed, again, went into the hospital, and the first thing they were like, oh, you don't look too good. I mean, aside from the fact that, like, baby, they were just like, oh, you don't look too good. So they spotted something was off straight away. Took my temperature, it was sky high, it was ridiculously high, and immediately they were like, okay, we need to take some bloods, do some blood tests, and I was dehydrated. They were like, so they put me on a drip, started taking bloods, and they were like, okay, you've got some sort of an infection. And it was just like, oh, okay. So we're in the hospital, having contractions on and off, and it was really weird, because sometimes the contractions were intense, and then at times it felt like nothing was happening. As the night progressed through to the morning, my contractions completely stopped. My temperature went down, and they were just like, okay, we may just send you home, because you're fine. And then so I'm like, okay, you know, getting ready to maybe go back home, and everything just started again. It was actually mad. So they monitored me, the temperature went back on, monitored the baby, the heart rate was all over the place. Meanwhile, I'm still on the drip, they're still taking bloods, all this stuff, and it was just it was just so chaotic that they were just like, okay, I think we're going to induce you to speed things up. And then later on, they were just like, you know, this doesn't even make sense. Something's clearly not right. So it's probably best we get the baby out. Now with Eden, you know, because I thought it was going to be a natural birth. So, you know, I had all the gas and air and I was doing all of that. But with Evan, there was no time for like gas and air. So I was fully aware of what was going on. Whereas the first time I wasn't, you know, I was high on gas.
Yeah.
I wasn't really, it was just all like, ah. But this, I was there. I was very, very present and I hated it. Like that, my second labor, because I was just very aware of everything that was going on. Bend over like this, we need to put this in your back. It was not nice. And there was so many people in the theater. Like the first labor, I didn't realize, because again, I was somewhere else.
Yeah.
But this one, I was very aware. I was talking to everyone and I was just like, wow. And I think at that moment is when I really, really realized that a C-section is like a big deal. I think I downplayed it with my first pregnancy, but the second time around, where, you know, I was fully aware, there was no gas in there, I knew everything that was going on, I was like, wow, this is like major, you know. This person here, again, because my temperature was still up, there's this person here giving me this, there's someone else here giving me that.
Yeah, the people on standby waiting for the baby to come out.
Yeah, and I just found my second born, the whole whole experience, it was just not nice. I really didn't like it, and I feel like I should have been like, can I just have some gas and air so that I can, you know. But I really didn't like the second experience of the
it was completely
labor.
different from the first.
It was completely.
And it's funny how what you described for your first was literally what happened to me.
Yeah,
like the same thing. I had to break my water. The baby had pooped, and they were like, "Oh, you're not really sure everything is fine." And then, oh, we have to go in for an emergency CS. So it was like
the second one. Yeah, I really didn't like it. I lost a lot of blood as well. Wow. I didn't actually realize. Obviously, my husband, he was seeing everything from a different angle. So yeah. I feel like it must have been terrible for him. Now. Because when we got back home, he was like, do you know how much blood you lost? Because they were talking about, oh, we might need to give you a blood transfusion. I was just, oh my God. He was like, there was so much blood that it was all over the floor. And at a point, one of the people in the theater, she slid across the floor in the blood. And I was like, wow. I was like, wow, yeah. So the second one, that was just not great. Even I had to stay in hospital. I was in hospital for like 5 days after. I still had some infection. I still had a temperature. But I got home in the end. I got one piece. But the recovery from my second C-section, I have heard, like, the more you have, you know, the recovery from the second C-section was great. It was not great. It was awful, like, and I think it just hit me by surprise because it was totally different. The first one, I was up, I was going to get McDonald's on day 3. Whereas this one, I remember I got home from the hospital after a couple of, you know, after like 5 days or so, and I sat down on the sofa and I couldn't get up. I literally couldn't get up myself. David had to help me to get to the toilet. And I remember I can laugh about it now, but I went to the toilet and I sat there and I just started crying. I just literally broke down. I started crying and he was like, oh, what's wrong? And I was just like, this is too much. This is a lot. Yeah, I was just like, this is too much. How on earth am I going to manage to look after 2 kids when when you're not even... I was like, I can't. That's literally the next thing I was going to ask you now. I was just going to ask you now, how was your... Because that was the reason why I asked you this question, which will lead to the next question, which you're kind of already answering. But it's where was your mental health? Because the fact that you already had that first experience and then the second one was happening, so probably when you were going in there, as much as we try not to have any expectation, or we're human beings, it would creep in. As someone like, oh, the first one, maybe that's what's going to happen. And obviously that made everything kind of worse. Yeah. So I know that coming home, you already have a child. Fine, your husband is there, but you know,
there's a difference between a mom. There's some things that you just have to do that daddy will not be able, you know.
Yeah.
So having your first son and then having to still do a baby, and then you are in massive pain. How was all that for you? Like, did you by any chance go into some kind of depression? Because I feel like that would creep in at some point.
You know what? I'm so, and I spoke about this on another live yesterday, talking about friends.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm so thankful for some of the friends that I have. You know, like a friend of mine, she was getting married later on. She was getting married not long after. She was getting married in December. This was like the summer. Basically, her holiday that she should have saved up for her wedding, because she got married back in Nigeria, her holiday that she should have saved up and spent more time with her husband and like for all her wedding prep, she literally used about a week of it to come and help me and the kids.
Oh wow.
And you know, like, she was an absolute lifeline. She's an absolute lifeline to David and I, because, you know, obviously dads too, they get tired, even though they're not mum, you know, they still get tired.
Of course.
Feel like they must feel a level of frustration that we probably won't understand, because there is only so much. There is only so much they can do. I mean, you're not going to help me breastfeed the baby. You're not going to physically help me express, you know, and all of those things. So there is only so much that they can do as well. But yeah, she was an absolute lifeline. And even not long after that, David, I think he paid attention, and he could see that this life with 2 kids was really doing a number on me. So again, even with that, he organized like someone to look after the kids for the night, and just like took me to a spa and was just like, you know, just have some time out. So thankfully, you know, I feel that people around me paid attention, and they could really see that I was probably about to just have a break.
From what you already explained, you know, it tends to happen, and you know, it's something some people tend to overlook it, and it's good that you have really, your husband is supportive and you have really good friends and family around you, because absolutely, some people don't have this, and there's some people that don't, especially African parents. When you mention postpartum depression, or you mention, oh, I'm going to, they're like, back home, maybe have 5 children. I'm just like,
you know what? It's so funny you mentioned that, and I feel like, yeah, we do this thing a lot, and I used to do it as well. Like, oh, but this person is dealing with X, Y, and Z. It's not even, you know, what am I complaining about? But your struggle is your struggle.
That's it.
If someone else out there has got 5 kids and it appears that they're coping, well, then you know what? That's great. But if someone is there with 1 child and they seem like they're not coping, period. Like, so we shouldn't do that to ourselves, and we shouldn't do it to other people. That whole thing of, oh, but this person has X, Y, and Z. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's probably, we should put things into perspective, you know, at times, you know, to an extent, but at the same time, you know, allow yourself to feel whatever it is you're feeling.
Exactly.
You know, because yeah, I did that for a very, very long time, and not even, you know, just in relation to kids, but just life in general. I'd always say, yeah, you know what, it's fine. Someone else is dealing with this, so, you know, let me just keep going, and it's fine. I can keep going, but you do need to appreciate that your struggle, you know, your struggle is, yeah, we're all, as someone just said, like, we're all built differently.
Exactly.
We really need to know that, like, the person dealing with their 5 kids and bossing it, I'm not that person.
Happy for you. That's the thing. You know, sometimes it can be good and bad, because you can look at it. It depends on where your mindset is, and you might look at it and be like, oh, it can come as a form of encouragement that, oh, she's doing it. Let me push. Can be good. But if you're looking at it the other way, saying, oh, she's doing it, and you're putting more pressure on yourself when your mental health is clearly not where it's supposed to be, where it's like, so it's really good. And that's why I asked that question, because as soon as you started telling me what happened the second time, second delivery, I already kind of, because I know I'm hearing stories and speaking to some friends and family that I know that have had more than one, they have more than one kid, child, sorry. I know this mental health and postpartum tends to happen, especially when the delivery and pregnancy is totally different from what it was. So it's a good thing that you pulled through and you had really good friends. I saw your post today. That's a really nice one. Thank God for you. Thank God for your friends if they're watching.
No, they're brilliant.
So you've already gone through some of the questions in midst of our conversation. But the next thing I'm just going to ask, because I know a lot of people will want to hear that. How have you been able to... Okay, no, one question before that. How you've kind of already told me the delivery part and the few weeks in after the coming home, how you've been, but what's the difference? How would you say having one child, I know you know is this taking care of you, but how's it been for you when you fully recovered? How was it? How were you able to get into a routine, taking care of, you know, two of them at the same time and still being able to manage the household?
So you know what I think not long after I had, so everyone's born in August, and then the next year, March, it was pandemic. It was pandemic, which obviously for some people it was a blessing and a curse. But I would say that I honestly, because again, pandemic, David was at home. David was working at home. So yeah, we were all here, all hands on deck. But I'm not sure, if I'm honest, I'm not sure how I would have, I would have managed it somehow, but I don't actually know how I would have managed it, honestly. One thing we did do though, after a couple of months, we put Eden in nursery. We put Eden in nursery so that it was just one child at home to deal with. But then, you know, however many months later down the line, the pandemic hit. So we were all at home. But I honestly, I don't know what I would have done.
I know that's the reason. Like I said, most of these questions I already kind of sat down and put myself in your situation. Maybe I can't really imagine, but I can't imagine having a baby now. But yours is like twice of what I'm going through at the moment. You know, obviously kids are not in the baby stage anymore, but it's still, I feel like as kids grow, it's different stages of struggle. You know, I think it's even worse, if anything. Because for me now, baby's probably just sleeping, eating, and probably rolling. But you have to deal with like secondary, like different parts. You know, it's a lot.
There's so much as they're growing up. You just have to laugh because some days you might just cry, or some days you'll cry. But there's so many things to factor in as they get old, as they're growing. You know, like right now, so Eden is gonna be 4 next week, and he needs to do like speech and language. So you know, there's these things that you don't even think about. My second one just wants to be terrorizing us in this house. It's like hilarious.
He wants to wear his Crocs to bed.
It's hilarious, but then like some days it's like, okay, child, it's not funny anymore.
I know.
There's just so many different things that you have to just, because they're both in nursery now. Just add, they're both in nursery now. You know, they've had to. Like, I'm self-employed. I work for myself. Recently, I've been insanely busy with work. So yeah, they're both in nursery. And that was a very, very good decision.
Exactly.
And, you just need to do what you can, and just, as I said,
find a balance. Exactly. What works for you. That is, and it's the same thing like what we mentioned earlier. You might see someone doing it different, but it's what works for you and your household. Because like you said, you're self-employed. You still need to think of the fact that apart from work, you need to take care of yourself. Because if you're not, that's self-love. And that's one thing I actually commend you for. Because there's some days when I just going on my story and I just see you like, spa day. I'm like, your goals right now.
Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, right?
Yeah.
I did not come. I did not come to this life, yeah, to come and be stressed or to come and suffer myself or anything. Don't get me wrong. There's ups and downs. There's bad days. Sometimes, you know, life really comes at you fast. But in the midst of all that, you have to find time to do something that makes you happy. Kids, or like you need to, like, it's so important to your mental health.
Definitely.
Like when I think it was just before I got married, I was, you know, like kind of consistently getting my nails done, for example. And through my pregnancy and after I had Eden, and even up until now, I continue to get my nails done because it makes me happy. You know, people are looking at me like, oh my gosh, but your nails, how can you poke?
We lost her.
Phone call just tried to come in. You know,
Oh,
what
okay.
what if you poke the child? No, it's really okay. I can have nails and I can look after my kids. And I like my time when I go and get my nails done. I have a little chit chat, you know, have a little coffee or tea or whatever. That's my time. That's my few hours to myself. And it doesn't always have to be a big old spa day. It can just be little things. To the supermarket. Sorry, 1 second. David. I think he's locked all the doors. I need to tell him to tell my sister to stop calling me. But yeah, you know, like whatever it is, no matter how little it is, just do something for yourself.
Do something, yeah.
David, can you just text my sister to stop calling me, please? But yeah, just do something for yourself. Like,
yeah, definitely. Like, this we can't press on this. I don't know how, because I think it was the 3rd or 4th episode. I had a mom here where we're talking about balancing life, marriage, and all that. And this is something we spoke about, like self-care. Like you said, doing your nails. It can be it might just be staying in the shower for 1 hour and thinking, because trust me, when you're a mom, being in the shower for 1 hour is luxury. So I always tell people, whatever it is that makes you happy, if it's working out, if it's whatever it is, shopping, go do that. Because if you're not in the right mental state, there's no way you can function as a mom and probably still work, you know. So it's really honestly, a good thing that
like, you cannot be anything to anyone. You cannot be of use to anybody. You cannot be of value to anyone unless you look after yourself first.
Exactly.
So and again, I am big on, you know, doing things myself, you know, doing things for myself and all of that. But I think I have found the balance now, and I think I've even only just found the balance this year. I thought I had the balance before, not until and I shared this on my Instagram and when it happened. So a couple of months ago, I woke up in the morning. Now I've gone to bed, right? So just picture this, guys. I've gone to bed. I've had a good night's sleep. I woke up in the morning and passed out. And it was really weird. It was a really, really, really bizarre and very, very scary experience. We called the ambulance and all of that stuff. They came round and they were like, oh, your blood pressure is really low. And that morning, it's not even like I didn't get out of bed like really fast or anything like that. Anyway, got to the hospital, they done some checks and whatever, and the doctor was like, you seriously need to rest. So sometimes if you don't, your body will make you,
and it will tell you at some point.
Your body will tell you and make you take time out for yourself and just relax. So from that day onwards, I was like, listen, nothing. I don't want any stress. I don't know. So at this point right now, I'm really balancing it. Like anything that's gonna stress me out or anything like that, because life is stressful enough as it is. So you need to balance it all out.
That's you, like what you said, and you can imagine you actually felt that you were rested and then you passed out. So
I thought I thought I had a good balance, but clearly I was not resting. There were just Because the doctors, like, you know, they spoke to me, they asked me a question, okay, you know, so what's work like? You know, what's this like? What's that like? And he was just like, yeah, you need to rest. He was like, so like, you know, just don't do anything. Try not to do anything for you know, for some time. But yeah, so you need to just, self-care is key. It's so important. I can't stress it enough.
Stress it enough. Hey, it's a good, like, that's, I feel like this is very important that you said this coming from you. I'm sure a lot of moms on here and people that watch this video will actually, because some people actually don't rest. They're just like, oh, and I think there's this thing called mom guilt, and this is going to be a topic on its own because I need to actually bring a professional here, which I intend to do in probably 2 weeks, on to speak about mental health and postpartum depression, in fact everything, because there's actually something called mom guilt, and I think a lot of people tend to go through that a lot. Because even when you want to rest or you're doing something, you're like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be looking at my baby. Oh, I'm supposed, my Lord, my girl, rest.
You know what's so funny, yeah? And I can't, I have to be honest, I think as for that one, it's one thing that I've mastered. Like, as long as they're fed, as long as they're clothed, they're happy, and all of that stuff, I honestly, I don't know, you know, I can't honestly say it's something that I have felt, because I know that I am doing my best. Yeah. Like if there's one thing, and I guess that's the thing a lot of moms struggle with, because people question themselves a lot. Am I doing enough? But I think it's one thing that I know that I'm really trying. I'm really trying, you know, and I'm doing my best. So yeah, I don't, when it comes to that department, I don't
stress.
I don't stress, because I mean, my kids are surrounded, apart from myself and my husband, they are surrounded by so many aunties and uncles that absolutely love them. Like, you know, they're surrounded by people who are constantly, they're calling me to they're FaceTiming me to see how the kids are,
and
stuff like that. So yeah,
that's really good. That's really good that you, like I said, it really goes a long way having really supportive friends and family, because that takes, even if you're not in your house helping out or they come once in a while, but it still goes a long way.
Yeah, just even knowing that there's other people that they have so much love for your kids.
Exactly.
It you know, it's a lot. It does so much for you. You know, it's just knowing you've got that extra support and that love from other people is priceless.
That's good. Oh, time is running really fast. But we have a few things that we hopefully we'll try, because there's a few things I need to cover. But just another question that I know that people might want to know. So after you had your first child, when did you know you were ready for a second one? Or did it just happen, or was it planned? Or
so, you know what, right? With so they've both been planned. So both the boys were planned like to the T. They were planned. It's so funny. Like my close friends know this. So over the years, I've always tracked everything on like an app, like, you know, my cycle, all of that stuff, ovulation date, and all of that stuff. Yeah. So on I had always said, as soon as I get married, I'm gonna have a baby straight away. Like, I'm not waiting around. Like, I'm gonna have a baby straight away. So with Eden, it just so happened that our wedding night, on my app, it said there's a high chance of getting pregnant. So literally at my wedding, everyone was like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, so, you know, when are you gonna do this? And I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna get pregnant tonight. What? I mean, literally, I was like, yeah, with so much confidence. I was like, yeah, no, I'm getting pregnant tonight. My app says there's a high chance of getting pregnant tonight. So tonight, I'm gonna get pregnant. It really did happen. It really happened. Like, my period was like a couple of days later, and I was like, yeah, it's done. So like, I, you know, really thankful, really thankful, you know, that I've not had any issues there. And then we had always said, so when he turned 1, we were gonna like start for try for another child. And yeah, and that's what we did. And then I said, okay, when the second one turns 1, we'll go for like a third child. But obviously, as you know, my second born is 2. And I think
I was waiting for that.
The 2 under 2 life was interesting. It was very, very interesting. And yes, I'm just kind of I don't even know what I'm doing right now. But
take your time, please.
Because I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna one after the other. Gonna have the first one, have the second one. When they turn one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
It's all right, because I'm dealing with a 2-year-old who wants to go to bed in his shoes. Like, it's all right.
And I can imagine you with 2 kids saying this, and me right now. Cause I just spoke to my aunt today, and she called. She's like, "Oh, so baby was in the background laughing and stuff." And next thing she goes, "Oh, so where's baby?" I was like, "Sorry, what?" Like, wait, my baby's not even 1 year, and you're already asking if I'm pregnant. Like, I'm confused.
No, listen.
So if coming from you, and I've always told my husband, because before we had our baby, he was always like, "Oh, when baby shower, like, oh, 4 kids, 3 kids," and I'm just looking at him like, "Oh, okay." I have siblings, I have kids, and I have friends, and I see people, and I'm like, it's easy for you to say until you have the child. Right now, the other day asked me, it was like, "Is there a return label?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." They're just 7 months in, and you're asking for a return label.
It's a lot of work, man. It is a lot of work, but they are at the same time the most amazing things.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at them and I'm just like, you kids, yeah, you're lucky. I love you this much. Like, they are amazing. They are amazing, and it's all part of it, isn't it? It's all part of this motherhood life.
You're encouraging me, and at the same time you're giving me
look, do you know what? If there's one thing that I'm never ever gonna do, is shy away from talking about the not so cute bits.
Of course. That's the whole point of this show. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
People just want to always, as much as I feel like people talk about the bad part more, the whole point of doing this is to promote the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay. Yeah. So in the long run, it's left for you to make a decision what you want to do with your life.
And everyone's experience, it's different. Everyone's experiences are different, but yeah, it's great. It's not so great, and it can be awful. It is what it is,
We move. Let me see, because we have 13 minutes before an hour, so I don't want this to go over, because I know kids are waiting for mommy. So
their dad is dealing with them.
Oh, okay, that's good. But before if you're just joining, guys, and you have missed the first 40 minutes of this live, I will be posting this on my IGTV, so you can catch up on everything that we've spoken about. But if you do have any questions for Abigail while we're here, you can use the question box to start sending in those questions now while I go through some other things with her. But if you do have any questions...
David, go away.
Oh, that's just... So if you do have any questions, please put them there, and I will be happy to read them out to her. But let me see. I think we've gone through most of the things that I really want to speak about with you today. Mental health, balancing. Oh yeah, and you did mention that the kids are both in nursery. How was that for you? Like, finding the right one? Because I know it's not easy, because you're, as a mom, letting your kids go when you're not even there is one thing. So you want to make sure that wherever you're sending them to, at least, no, I don't think any nursery is ever 100%. There's always going to be one thing or the other that will drive you nuts, and you might be like, "Oh, I want to stay home with my kids," but that's not realistic, because you have to do stuff. So how was that for you?
Do you know what? It was okay. I mean, if anything, I was quite excited for them to go to nursery, go to nursery, play with other kids,
Yeah.
Because can't be at home just staring at my face.
Yeah,
and the thing is, like I said, I'm self-employed, so as much as I've managed to juggle things and stuff, I actually think it's unfair. I actually think it was unfair to keep them at home, because some days I've got loads to do, and my attention can just be elsewhere. Yeah. So nursery was a no-brainer for them to go to. Eden's been in 2 nurseries. So one, to be honest, I moved him to another nursery just because that one was slightly cheaper. But I knew other people who'd gone to the nursery as well. Like a lot of my friends, like his cousins, go to the same nursery. So, but yeah, no, nursery was. I mean, I'm not that mum that got upset dropping my kids at nursery. I'm like, okay,
bye.
Bye. No.
Oh my God.
But yeah, they love it. Like, and listen, they really like, they love nursery. So yeah, no, it was. Listen, I don't have an issue dropping my kids to like friends, family, nursery, because they're gonna be looked after.
Yeah, and it's mommy and daddy time. You can do whatever you want. So
no, so
that's a good one. At least that gives me some kind of encouragement to drop my child off soon.
I mean, I know. I don't know. I just my thought process is, especially when, you know, like they're being looked after by friends and family. I mean, I'm leaving them with people that I wouldn't leave my kids with someone that I'm not
you don't trust
with. So therefore, I don't feel any kind of like anxiety or whatever, because they're with people who love them just as much. So yeah, they can go.
You're really goals right now. See what, guys? You see why I brought her on here, so you guys can learn and, you know, do follow suit basically.
Look, if there are people that you know and trust that are happy to look after your kids, because I hear some people like, oh, you know, I don't want to, you know, I feel like I'm being a bit of a burden or something. No, but if someone's like offered to look after your kids, even like grandparents, listen, grandparents will be telling you, have kids. Okay, so now that we have had the kids, you're gonna look after the kids.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. So
it's only normal. You've been asking for them. It's time for you to take them.
So like utilize your network,
people around you, exactly.
Utilize the people around you who are willing to help you. Like you deserve time. Just because you have kids doesn't mean you have to be glued to them all the time. But if you have people that are willing to look after your kids for you, like, reach out and utilize those people.
That's good. So I'm just going to ask you one more question while we see if anyone has any question for you, but none has come in yet, just comments from people. But I'm just going to ask you the last question. If someone were to ask you now, how is your life? Let me rephrase that. Do you think your life has changed? Obviously, your life has changed. You now have kids, but like, do you think there's any drastic change since having children? Like, have you had to stop some certain things that you would love to still be doing, or, you know, how has it been?
Do you know what? I think the biggest thing, and I guess it is quite a big thing, because it's so pre-kids. I was the person who would take a lot of risks. So if I wanted to do something, if I had like an idea about just something, I would go for it and I'll just do it. But when I had kids, and I didn't realize it myself, it took me a while to realize that, oh, it's because I've got kids that I'm doing this now. I take a lot more time. I'm a lot more risk averse. But I feel like it's to the extreme. So now I can talk myself out of a lot of things. But I realize it's simply because I now have kids. So I'm like, oh, maybe I won't do that, because there's a lot more at stake now. And I've got other people that I'm responsible for. So I can't really do that right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But then I've really done it to the extreme, to the point where I said, okay, I can't do that right now. Okay, case closed, moving on. And I'll just leave certain things, or I won't pursue certain things, because I'm like, oh, but you know, if I do this, the kids, But to be honest, I mean, of recent, I realized that was all in my head personally. That was just, I mean, it was a good concern to have, but I just needed to find the balance of, okay, you've got kids, and I know you used to take a lot more risks before. I used to be, I mean, I'm still very, very ambitious, but I've toned it down a bit because I'm just like, I can't be doing these risky things that could like have an impact on the family, because you know, before it's like, yeah, whatever happens, I'll figure it out. But yeah, no, I think I've kind of found the balance and being able to tell myself that no, you can still pursue certain things, and you know, maybe I might take a bit longer to do it, but yes, I feel like I've definitely, I mean, my friends will probably be like, slow down where? But I feel like there are certain things that I have just slowed down a bit, but that's just simply because I'm considering a lot more the impact on
the family and the long term,
family and the long term and stuff like that. So
that's good. That's really good. So but yeah, I think we have covered most of the questions that I feel people would have they wanted to probably know more from your audience. So yeah, I think I've asked most of those questions. But I'm really, really grateful for you giving me this opportunity to share this hour with you. And you have really shared your great experience, and I hope people that will watch this and have joined today have been able to take something away from everything that we've spoken about. In the long run, it is a beautiful experience, but there's definitely the ups and downs. It's still a struggle, but I don't think in everything we do in life, apart from having kids, I think nothing is ever straightforward.
And I think that's the thing. Everything has its ups and downs.
Exactly.
I feel like just like motherhood just probably has a huge impact on your
your life in general, exactly,
and stuff like that. But of course, it is a beautiful, beautiful thing. It is a wonderful blessing to be able, to have these crazy little humans.
I as much as when I see your stories of when you put up like the last few days that he's been willing to
what he's been doing to me in his house.
In my mind, I'm just like, every time I see that, I just look at my son, I'm like, please don't do this to me.
If you see what he this evening, oh my gosh, like they both of them, they raided the cupboard, they're looking for snacks, and they picked up a packet of Weetabix, and they're just chewing Weetabix like it's a cake, and they were literally running around going, cake, and I'm like, it's not cake, you're actually just chewing a dry piece of Weetabix.
Fresh. I think your son had cream on his face this morning.
Yeah, it's more, and he thought it was hilarious, guys, and it's so annoying because it is still beautiful, guys. Washed his hair last night, and then he now put body cream all over his face, all over his hair, so I had to, honestly. Do you want to babysit? Because I'll bring them to you.
I'm still struggling with my 7-month-old. I'll pass for now.
But honestly, guys, if you want to see some interesting things that my kids get up to, just come over to our
guys, come on. You need to actually follow her. You learn a lot, and at the same time, it's banter for us, but it might not be funny for her, but it's what it is. I think if we stay here, we'll actually keep going. I'm gonna have to let you go now. Thank you so much, and I hope to have you again, probably in the next season. God willing, 2022, we'll be seeing you again. Okay. Absolutely. Definitely, I will. Thank you again. Have a great weekend. Bye, darling. Bye. All right, then. Thank you guys for tuning in today. And if this is your first time, the series is called New Mom Diaries. I bring on new moms, OG moms, professionals in this field to share their experiences with us and give us educational and impactful information. So if you have missed this episode, I will be uploading on my IGTV, and you can catch up on the last 5 episodes. So till my next episode next week Friday by 7 p.m. UK time. Stay blessed, stay beautiful, and have a blessed weekend. Bye, guys.